Hi, it's Yvonne Stewart-Williams again, and I'm back with you with this Heathen Massive radio show podcast itself this morning on Saturday, the 27th of January 2018. And I've got some great news. I've created a new genre. Well, I don't know how new it is, but anyway, certainly a new genre of music for me and stuff, and it's QG, shortened here in the UK, and for queer gospel. So I want to tell you about that in all other things, but before I go in, I'm going to give you a taste of it and stuff so that you can see what's going on. So I'm going to kick off with Sermon on the Mount. Okay, so you tell me what you think and that, and we'll go on.
Heathen Massive at the controls. Yeah. Heathen Massive UK QG Queer Gospel Sermon on the Mount. Life and direct. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. I've got you, Jesus, as a role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Yeah. Sermon on the Mount. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have to be daunted. Thank you, Jesus. I don't need to fear. Role model mentors. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. Sermon on the Mount. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Yeah. Sermon on the Mount. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Don't need no one else. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Sermon on the Mount. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, yeah. Sermon on the Mount. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to guide and love my lesbian footsteps. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Sermon on the Mount. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Sermon on the Mount. Don't need nothing else. No, no. I've got you, Jesus, role model and mentor. Sermon on the Mount. I've got you, Jesus, as role model and mentor to love and guide my lesbian footsteps. Yeah, yeah. Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah, so that is at the top of the show. We're rolling in with Sermon on the Mount, and it's going to be quite a biblical kind of like gospel-y, sort of like a folksy thing in time for the 2018 Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer History Month of February, which we're just about approaching. And so the whole month of that is dedicated to LGBTQ matters and stuff, activities and everything like that. And, that's where we're rolling in. So before I go much further, I just want to sort of like keep it, because obviously, I'm a Quaker and that. And although, I'm no longer a Quaker overseer, I'm still a member of the English Quakers. And I want to sort of like take a reading out of our book, right? I know normally I read King James, but I'm not going to give you a biblical text from the King James version of the Bible and stuff. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm going to sort of like read something out of Quaker Faith and Practice, which is the book that Quakers use, British Quakers use, and it's going to be from section 20.1. I ask for daily bread, but not for wealth, lest I forget the poor. I ask for strength, but not for power, lest I despise the meek. I ask for wisdom, but not for learning, lest I scorn the simple. I ask for a clean name, but not for fame, lest I condemn the lowly. I ask for peace of mind, but not for idle hours, lest I fail to hearken to the call of duty. So let's just have a moment of silence in true Quakerly spirit. Okay, so what have I been up to? Well, it's been a busy January month and stuff, and last night I went for drinks at the Black Dog in Vauxhall, and for once I wasn't wearing one of my Stonewall t-shirts. I was wearing a Gap t-shirt, which a sweatshirt, and I I say that uh, the gap, GAP, stands for gay and proud. So that's what it means to me when I'm wearing it. That's my subtle way of sort of like being gay and proud when I wear Gap clothes and stuff, and I see that Gap label. That's what it means to me. But anyway, whatever it means to you, that's fine. I'm not attached to that, but that's what it means to me. So like I was wearing that, and I went to a leaving drinks of a colleague that recently left our Thames Reach employment and stuff, and yeah, it was lovely, like drinks with colleagues, old colleagues, and like associates, friends, and stuff like that. Yeah, so like that's great, and like I'm delighted that I'm going to be. I've recently found out and stuff like that after being asked if I would be willing and stuff. Asked to and I've accepted the offer, mind you, is whether I would sort of like lead in the planning of Thames Reach, going through the next 2018 London lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender queer Pride March. Yeah, so Thames Reach, my employers, are going to be, like going on a Pride March and stuff like that. So, like I'm already sort of like putting out feelers for that and stuff. So, like I'm so pleased that, and honoured and proud that I'm going to be leading my sort of like charity, Thames Reach charity, through this process again and stuff like that. Well, at least I'll be leading on the planning and stuff. Like what I do after that is another matter and stuff. So anyway, not to be outdone, yesterday was my annual leave, and as I said, I went to the Black Dog in the Vauxhall for leaving drinks with a friend that had left Thames Reach, a colleague and stuff, and I spoke about, obviously I was talking about the my new sort of like commitment with the planning for Thames Reach and Pride. But anyway, before then, I was at the Ritzy yesterday, and I decided that I was going to write a track, another QG, for queer gospel track, but this time from the presence of the Ritzy bar. So let me know what you think of it. It's a slightly different sort of like sound to Sermon on the Mount. So anyway, let's go for it. Yeah, Heathen Massive, coming to you from the Ritzy bar. Yeah, Heathen Massive UK QG queer gospel. Yeah. Gethsemane, 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 close yet so far from Brixton, London, UK. Gethsemane, close yet so far from Brixton, London, UK. I'm sorry I fell asleep, yet you still love me. Thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry that I fell asleep, yet you still love me. Thank you, Jesus. The garden in Gethsemane, you were there. Today I'm in the bar, I sense you near. The garden in Gethsemane, you were there. Today I'm in a bar, I sense you near.
You said, suffer all the children. Come as you are. I'm here, Jesus, lesbian in a bar. Gethsemane, Gethsemane. Close, yet so far from Brixton, London, UK. Gethsemane, Gethsemane, Gethsemane. So close, yet so far. I'm sorry I fell asleep, yet you love me still. Thank you, Jesus. The garden in Gethsemane, you were there. Today I'm in a bar, I sense you near. You said, suffer all the children, come as you are. I'm here, Jesus, lesbian in a bar. You said, suffer all the children, come as you are. I'm here, Jesus, lesbian in a bar.
Yeah, so that was Gethsemane and stuff. For all of you that are well versed with your scriptures, you know, probably read a Psalms a day and all of that. And wondering how this, for those further afield, this sodomite, as you might, like how I'm sort of like working with the scriptures and stuff. Well, I I don't profess to know. I've listened. I've got King James version of the Bible on audio on my Apple product, and of course I've got the Bible, both the 400-year anniversary version and another, the older text and stuff. And I don't profess to be chapter and verse in the full knowledge of the contents, but anyway, it's something that's very much a part of my life. But anyway, this QG, queer gospel, is the kind of genre of music that I'm looking at today, and sort of like I want to sort of like try it out on you first to see what you think, and get busy with that. So it's not just about biblical texts and stuff. I do use hymns, such as in this next track is called the Trans Anthem and stuff. So, tell me what you think of it. And I'm not, as you know, I'm not the greatest of singers, and my voice is most crow-like and stuff. However, I do attempt it sometimes and stuff. And on this next one, you'll hear me a cappellaing with the backdrop of drum beat and stuff. So for Trans Anthem, because I thought it was worthy of me singing and stuff. And I don't really do that too often. Last time I did that, I think it was for God Save the Queen and stuff. So anyway, here we go. Tell me what you think. Yeah. Heathen Massive on the road again.
Heathen Massive.
Coming to you with Heathen Massive UK QG. Queer gospel.
Queer gospel.
From the top. All things bright and beautiful.
Bright and beautiful.
All creatures great and small.
Great and small.
All things wise and
Join me.
wonderful. The Lord God made them all. All things are bright
beautiful. All trans, both great and small. All trans. All trans are wise and wonderful. The Lord God made them all.
Yeah, trans anthem.
Trans anthem.
Made in God's images.
Trans anthem.
Yeah.
Trans anthem. All trans are bright and beautiful. All trans, both great and small. All trans are wise and wonderful. The Lord God made them all. All trans, all trans, beautiful. All trans, great and small. All trans, wonderful. The Lord God made them all. God made them all. There's that of God within all of us. All trans are bright and beautiful. All trans, both great and small. All trans are wise and wonderful. The Lord God made them all.
Yeah. Shout out to all the trans.
Trans anthem.
Jesus loves you.
Jesus loves you.
Made in God's
Jesus loves you.
image. Made in God's image.
Made in
Yeah.
God's image.
Jesus loves
Yeah.
you.
Jesus
All
loves you.
trans are bright.
All
and
trans, all trans.
beautiful.
All trans,
great
and both great and small. All trans are wise and wonderful. The Lord God made them all. Made them all.
All
trans are bright and beautiful. All trans, both great and small. The Lord God made them all. Trans anthem.
Yeah.
Trans anthem. My trans brothers and sisters.
Made in God's image.
Yeah.
Trans
Made in God's image. Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
Both great and small. Trans anthem. Yeah. Trans anthem. Made in God's image. Trans anthem.
Yeah. So that was trans anthem. Yeah, and as you can hear, it's All Things Bright and Beautiful was the kind of melody that was being co-opted to sort of like bring about that anthem, which is a hymn, a childhood hymn, both for me and my son. And yeah, it's yeah, one of those that we had back in our school and all the rest of it and stuff like that. And yeah, that's a long time ago for me, but I still remember it and know it. I sang it so often and everything like that. So yeah. So I'm just here thinking about you know, like when I visited the House of Parliament, I did a tour, and you know, I remember it vividly. The day, it was a lovely sort of like a clear, dry day and stuff, and it wasn't too cold. It was I think it was in summer, one summer a few years ago. I went with my son, and you know, like I was wearing my Stonewall Christian and Proud t-shirt. It had you know, like it was a Stonewall t-shirt and stuff, and you know, like you know, and without going into that, you don't have to be Christian, obviously, to listen to this podcast radio show and stuff. But like this particular edition is a Queer Gospel QG edition, Heathen Massive UK QG Queer Gospel edition. So so like if you're enjoying it, like fantastic, that's great and stuff. But like one thing about February now and stuff, and it's coming up to Norman Tebbett's birthday and stuff, and a few years ago on his birthday, gay marriage was sort of like that was a starting point for the UK and stuff. So for England and Wales and stuff, was Norman Tebbit, Lord Norman Tebbit. He was an MP, Conservative MP, of course, and stuff. So like dedicated to him and stuff like that for the forthcoming LGBTQ History Month and stuff. I've written a track for those same-sex couples who have wedded, and it's called Gay Marriage.
Heathen Massive UK QG Queer Gospel, introducing to you gay marriage, same-sex marriage.
So that was gay marriage. And I look forward to the day when same-sex couples can wed everywhere in the world, and for it to be recognised, welcomed, cherished, respected and stuff. And especially when they can wed in their faith-based places, because like obviously, like that matters to me. And like since I'm able to do that, if a same-sex partner would want to be wedded with me, go through a wedding with me on my Quaker, British English Quakers premises, certainly she would be able to do so. That's fantastic. So I look forward to that day when that happens, and that. So yeah. So today, what have I got planned for today? Well, I've got a few things planned, but one of the things planned is I've got a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender plus conservatives campaign and drinks after, followed by drinks, but campaigning first. So yes, it's that time, because obviously the election's coming up in May and stuff, and I will be with my LGBT conservatives and allies and stuff, campaigning and that. And I look forward to that. And I'm gonna sort of get a little more serious and stuff like that, a little bit more political and that, with my QG, queer gospel, and stuff, in the next sort of biblically, that is, the next one is really entitled Job's Comforters. So for those that are scholars of the text, the biblical word, of course, Job was much put upon and stuff and tested. And Job Comforters, well, for those that know, it will be evident, like what I'm saying about Job's Comforters and stuff. But if you sort of try and chase it on my SoundCloud account, you'll find it's entitled Heathen Massive UK QG Queer Gospel, right? Which is the title of this podcast radio show and stuff. So anyway, let's play it, see what you think. Don't shoot the messenger, really. The truth will set you free, but obviously it will make you mad first and stuff. So please don't come shooting the messenger. This is genre of music. It's queer gospel, and so see if it can give you food for thought and stuff. Anyway, so here's Job's Comforters. Heathen Massive UK QG Queer Gospel. Yeah. QG Queer Gospel. Job's Comforters. Please keep your tea and sympathy for yourself, because you appear to do nothing to bring or introduce productive change. When I remonstrate about the catalogue of injustice faced by LGBTQ people, Job's Comforters, white noise. Job's Comforters.
white noise. Joe's comforters. Response to LGBTQ discrimination seems to be to chant as a mantra. Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. Job's comforters. White noise. Job's comforters. White noise. Job's comforters. White noise. Keep your tea and sympathy when while Jesus wept. Lesbians endure corrective rape. Transvine a daily basis. Gay men are threatened or killed for being gay. And the bias experience discrimination in every way. From the top. While white noise. Joe's comforters. You're either for or against us. Do you get me? Joe's comforters. You're either for or against us. Take note that Jesus loves us. Take note that Jesus loves us. Heed the following warning. Judge not, lest ye be judged. 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 Heed the following warning. Job's comforters. Those that are against LGBTQ people must confine their imaginations to the oblivion. Those that are against LGBTQ people must confine their imaginations to the oblivion. White noise. Joe's comforters. Keep your tea white noise. Jokes, comforters, keep your tea and sympathy. Take note, Jesus loves us. Take note, Jesus loves us. Jesus loves us. LGBTQ people. Yeah. LGBTQ people. Those comforters, jokes, comforters, white.
Right, so you heard Job's comforters there and stuff. So I think the track speaks for itself, speaks volumes and stuff. So if you find yourself sort of like being sort of like edged into that situation of being a Job comforter, well, you know what? You need to break loose, break out of that sort of like say the Serenity Prayer, and sort of like try and find the courage. Of after sort of like discerning the wisdom and stuff to sort of like incorporate change. It's a productive change. So anyway, tomorrow and stuff, it's going to be my Quaker meeting, and it's a business meeting at the Quakers tomorrow and stuff. I may be on welcoming duties. I may not be. I might be just there for the taking, like listening and putting my piece in, my 5pence, 2pence worth as a member of the Quakers and stuff. Brixton and Streatham Quaker Meeting House and stuff. My local Quakers there, and that, and I look forward to it and stuff. My Quaker friends, I think they're amazing, second to none and stuff. And and if you're listening, like a warm greetings, friend. So anyway, I'm going to leave you on this last track and stuff. This is queer gospel. This is my version of queer gospel, and it can be many different, sort of like expressions and stuff. But this is my sort of like expression. This is my ensemble and stuff. So the last one I'll leave you, because like I'm a bit like that. I'm going to leave you with Heirs of Barabbas's Petitioners. And for you lot that know the scholarly texts, Well, it sort of like speaks for itself. But for you that don't know, that may not be averse to the scriptures and stuff, Barabbas was, of course, when Jesus was being crucified or on the cross and hanging up, Pontius Pilate sort of like, asked the crowds who they wanted released, Jesus or the murderers. Like Barabbas was, of course, a murderer, and did all sorts of unthinkable things and stuff. And Jesus, as you know, started his life in, like a stable and stuff, and, like also, his stepfather Joseph was a carpenter. Like he was born in like Jesus was born in a stable amongst cattle, a functioning stable with, and back in those days, you can imagine, in the heat and the like the smell and what was in the barn, like feces and urine and all of that, and he was just on straw and stuff. Like when we think about what our modern day babies get, sterilized bottles and and all sorts of different things, we sort of like put them through. Jesus was born in a very set of humble circumstances and stuff like that, and he ended his life sort of like he was there next to Barabbas, and Barabbas, he was Jesus was kind of like anyway, Matthew's 5-7 is Sermon on the Mount, where he sort of like speaks. If you want to read it, like you can see for yourself. Like I read it in the past and stuff like that, and no doubt I'll read it again in the future and stuff. Is Jesus's take and stuff after going up the mountain, but I don't know, like Jesus, as far as I know, he didn't murder anybody or anything like that, and he didn't do unthinkable things, rape and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, the crowds petitioned Pontius Pilate for Barabbas's release. They wanted Barabbas instead of Jesus. So, as, anyway, so on that note, if you are heirs of Barabbas's petitioners' ancestors, then I want you to think on and stuff and see what you're doing with the fight against homophobia and the commitment to allowing same-sex marriages to take place in a faith basis wherever you are and stuff. And if people want that, or for same-sex marriage and all of that kind of business. So the fight against homophobia is, like what we're looking at. So anyway, this is heirs of Barabbas's petitioners, and this is a drum mix. But anyway, here we go. And I'll see you out on that. So whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and stuff, and on.
Did Jesus, Barabbas petition, 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 did Jesus, did Jesus. I don't want to be rude, but the heirs of Barabbas, petitioners, haven't chosen me, just like their ancestors didn't choose me. Jesus, I don't wanna be rude, but the heirs of Barabbas' petitioners haven't chosen me, just like their ancestors didn't choose you. Oh, no, no. Dear Jesus, I don't want to be rude, but the heirs of Barabbas' petitioners haven't chose me, just like their ancestors didn't choose you. Humbly ask, when the heirs of Barabbas' petitioners to Pontius Pilate are going to petition by human rights, freedom from homophobia. Yeah. Dear Jesus, I humbly ask, when the heirs of Barabbas' petitioners of Pontius Pilate are going to petition my human rights, freedom from homophobia. Yeah. Dear Jesus. Dear Jesus. Dear Jesus. Dear Jesus. Dear Jesus. heirs of Barabbas' petitions. Why did Jesus have to die? If the lesbians, gays, bisexuals, trans and queers are still persecuted, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear help me, Jesus. I'm a lesbian. I love women. I love myself. And I believe in LGBTQ rights are human rights, just like everyone that is of God within me. And you saved me, yeah. Dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus. I'm a lesbian. I love women. I love myself and believe in LGBT rights. They're human rights. And just like everyone, there's that of God within me. And Jesus is the light to save me. Jesus is the me. Dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus, dear Jesus.